Fair play.
Look at that. I am unmuted. It is amazing.
Listen, I got the 20 minutes for the Dawn Roll all prepared.
Alrighty. Hey, everyone. We are live from New York. It's Push to Talk. We're live from New York because we are routing through the
You make it sound like there needs to be some kind of like, there needs to be some sort of flamboyant kind of like intro music right there. Like, we're live from New York with your host, Erik Asmock.
Well, that's kind of how Saturday Night Live starts every Saturday night.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
It's the way that you said it, like, we're live from New York. It's like expected the whole fanfare, right?
We have to do the monologue first, then we say, "Hey, live from New York." Blah, 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 blah.
Did you see the picture from that news show in somewhere in Asia? You know how news shows usually have like green screen behind them, so it looks like they're just looking out the window onto the city, right?
Okay.
Oh,
they actually built their studio on the outside of the building.
A lot of the studios in New York are actually like that.
No. It wasn't like with a window towards the city. It was actually on the outside of the building.
Ah, okay.
Oh God, that's terrifying.
There's
right?
It's like, oh yeah, what's underneath my feet? Nothing but air for about 120 meters. Oh Jesus!
I want to thank Dirk, the guy back from Holiday for 3-year holiday or something. Apparently he's been subbed for more than 3 years now. Hooray!
I don't understand why I've been subbed to this silly shit for more than 3 years, but I have been, so you know what? Why not?
I don't even subscribe with Bezos bucks. I actually pay, so
Yeah, so do I.
Well, technically it's Jassy bucks now.
Jassy
bucks,
Jassy
we all
bucks.
like Bezos bucks anyway.
Yeah,
so
Jassy bucks. Another economic downturn for Amazon, as I read in the Wall Street Journal yesterday. Not a good.
I mean, if you want to talk about economic downturns, you better have a look at how Meta is doing.
Yeah.
How what is doing?
How Meta is doing.
Oh, Meta. Oh yeah, that's a great stock. Well,
good God,
it was a good one if you wanted to short it.
Couldn't have happened to a nicer dude.
Why you don't like the dude?
No.
Why?
I don't like the dude. I don't like Facebook. Facebook has been responsible for some really fucking terrible shit in the world.
I use Facebook.
And he makes fun of me when I'm hating on Amazon.
I mean, do we really need to ask why about Reptile, man?
Amazon hasn't, as far as I know anyway, hasn't helped cause genocides. Whereas Facebook has.
Genocides on Facebook, really?
Well,
because Facebook is probably
Facebook.
Hosted on some cloud service that might also be complicit then, right? Because they host them.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I don't actually know which cloud hosts Facebook, or if they're smart multi-cloud solution like everybody should be. Nobody should use one cloud. What genocide? Facebook genocide? What?
Myanmar.
It's to do with the way, they moderate shit and or don't, or as it turns out. Yeah,
they basically just allowed groups that were clearly fostering hate and real life threats and violence, and just let them do their thing. Let them organize using Facebook groups and go out and murder people.
Yeah, I mean, you can use any of those. Lots of platforms to do that. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, again.
Yeah, but like lots of platforms actually, do what they're told to do what they're supposed to do, and actually monitor for that stuff and nip it in the butt.
Not all of them. I can see how. I mean, let's put it this way: the whole moderation thing. No matter what you think, you believe, or whatever, right? Moderation's hard.
Oh yeah,
it's hard. And the cost of it.
We've done moderation before, you and I. Like, we know how difficult it is. But like,
I mean, wow.
You have to at least do, meet them halfway and actually do a bit of work.
Yeah.
Facebook's just like notorious for just not giving a fuck. It really
I don't know.
is.
I don't know because I really haven't researched what they really do for their moderation, right? But I mean, I just look at it and I just look at the scale. I mean, just think of any of them, Twitter, any of them, right? It's got to be hard. The AI isn't there for it yet, really. I mean, AI isn't, maybe it's on the edge of potentially becoming really good at being able to interpret things, but right now it still isn't there. A lot of misses, a lot of problems.
Possibly.
And how do you determine, right? Let's say a group of people that might want to organize for a revolt of a really terrible government.
Well,
but who is the right and who is the wrong, and how do you decide?
The way that you do is you take testimony from people who worked and potentially still worked at the point of their testimony at Facebook in those respective departments.
Yeah, but when
as to what's happening or what is not happening.
Think of the scale on a global level of how do you decide which group is in the right and which group is wrong, and is that even something you should do? I don't know.
There's one of those things where you don't want to be blocking either side's viewpoint, but when they're actually talking about, using this as a methodology to go out and find and kill people, that's when you kind of have to go, yeah, no, this isn't okay from anyone, right? Like,
I don't know.
This is kind of the limit here.
How do you determine? I mean, when you think of war, we're finding and killing people, right?
Yeah,
and who is right? I mean, just think about it.
I don't know. It's tricky, but anyway.
Yeah, I just think moderation
the conversation that we wanted to be.
Moderation.
We really want to start off with this conversation.
Yeah, I just think moderation is hard, and I just think we support everything we do to get there. Right, so it's a check.
Yeah.
That's right.
We just tangented into this.
I know. Suddenly. We just went into it. I mean, this wasn't even.
I mean, I was just talking about stocks. That's all.
Jane Henny follow. Thank you for the follow. No, it wasn't Father Delve. It was not bitching about freedom of speech.
Nope.
It was really.
We were talking about stocks, really.
Yeah, we were. Technical ability. It morphed into technical ability to moderate with AI. Right. Art.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want a really a more controversial topic, we could talk about the fact that our previous prime minister's phone was apparently hacked by the Russians.
Really? Bobby Ray J, thank you for the follow. Hold on. Which former prime minister?
Yeah, we're gonna
like the 3-day prime minister, or the
the one that we had like earlier this year.
Oh no, yeah, which one?
Which of the 3, 4, 5? I don't know if I have enough fingers and toes to count your prime ministers in a year.
No, we've only had 3 prime ministers this year. Now,
okay,
the fact that we've had 6 education secretaries and 4 home secretaries in the past year kind of does not give a good look. But it has only been 3 prime ministers.
Only.
By the way, this is how you have a political talk show, right? Everybody's laughing about everything. Nobody's serious.
You just gotta giggle, seriously.
Yeah.
And for those out there believing that we agree on everything, no, we have vastly differing opinions on everything. Yeah.
And we get along, so the rest of the world should follow that.
Our political hellhole that we established as a channel to avoid putting it in the main channel of our chats.
I don't even participate. Yes. Alchemisti, resub
so quickly.
Alki, we love you.
Clearly, this is the conversation that we need to be having each week because we're getting subs out of it. So
no, Alki's awesome. Alki's a West Coaster, so he's out there.
Yep,
he's an amazing guy.
Cheers, buddy.
As is his wife and probably his children. Not his children, not his wife. Very cool. Very cool
thanks,
people.
So
and by the way, anybody who's new and thinks this is a political talk show, no, we don't really talk about politics here unless they're funny.
We will have Eve stuff to talk about, but first we have the Dawn Rule, which is that for the first 20 minutes of the show, we talk about other things going on in our lives and other things going on in the world, because Otherwise, Dawn will just make us talk about Eve for 2 hours straight, and it gets kind of rough sometimes. So
if we there's a tendency that like if we talk for, if we talk for an hour and 40 minutes, we may still have like a semblance of like
that's way too bright.
hope in our hearts as to the inevitability of EVE Online.
Yep.
But if we negate that, we talk for a whole 2 hours, all hope will be lost.
Yeah. The
Are you sure? Because this week seems pretty good.
I mean, we can't talk about it yet. But
Yeah, we can't talk about it yet.
Can I not
If we talk for
overrule
2
it as my
hours
first
about
time here in a few weeks?
You got 9 minutes, buddy.
Weeks?
9 minutes.
If we talk for
No.
2 hours about it, then we'll find the negative points and drive them into the ground.
The only time that we negate the Dawn rule is when Dawn isn't here. Because if Dawn isn't here, then we'll end up talking about food about halfway through.
Yeah.
But Dawn will like ramrod us into talking about Eve forever. So,
I want to ask quick, has Sothar still
she
said
is on a
anything
boat.
yet in the first 11 minutes?
What?
She is on a
yeah.
boat.
Okay, just making sure.
Are you ignoring me? Come on.
Okay. We're at
Questions from
18. We're
chat.
at, hold on. This is a very important question. We're at 1800 Eve time now, right? Is that correct?
No, we're at
1712.
1700 Eve time.
1700. So,
Because the clocks haven't changed.
INN follows U.S. time zones and time
For some
things.
weird fucking reason.
Yes, so we will fall back an hour on November 2nd, but we won't be here November 2nd, I don't think.
November 2nd is like the middle of the week, so
yeah.
no,
So that will be
It's Wednesday.
Yeah. On the 5th, which happens to be Eric's birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday for them.
I'll be here.
Eric's birthday special on
the
the 5th.
classic CCP day.
What?
Is it?
What?
It's the classic CCP doing event stuff is typically a Wednesday.
After the
Right, yeah.
But it was the same with all the stuff before, and that's what they're doing this week.
So
1700 Eve on the 5th is when we will be here.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, fucking Americans, man.
Well, no, we'll fall back. So wouldn't it be 1600 Eve?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll trust you.
We'll still be at 1700 Eve, but it'll be 1700 local time for us in the UK as well. And it'll be an hour earlier for you.
Yeah. No, Dirk, because remember, INN runs off US time zone, not Eve time.
Well, yeah, what I'm saying is that if we fall back an hour,
the show
in the
falls back an hour.
US and the UK, we will still be at 1700 Eve.
No.
Yes. Because we'll be at 1700 UK time as well, because we've fallen back an hour.
Yeah.
This is the point in the year
but
where
you're missing the other
UTC
point,
sync
Dirk.
up.
You see the way that I deal with this, Dirk, is I just don't think about it, and then I let whoever else wants to deal with it, and then I just go, "What time are we doing the show?"
Yeah, Masalom's like, "What the fuck did he start?" Hey, bottom line is,
because I can't be asked.
This is why we should get rid of daylight saving.
See that? Look at that.
Yes.
Alchemist, he's got too much math and time zone calculations.
And yeah, Jay, I think you're right. So yeah, next week will just be whatever for normal for the US.
If we can
It'll
find
be the week
someone
afterwards that goes weird.
Yeah, when do your clocks actually go back? Because ours go back this weekend.
I think it's this weekend too.
That'll be weird. I'm sure you guys do it differently.
I think this is one of the weird years where we actually sync up. Jay is saying that they go
November
back
6th.
next weekend.
Yeah, so we're normal here.
Oh, okay. So
in the
yeah.
US.
Oh god, that's
Sunday,
gonna make next weekend horrendous.
Yes, Dirk.
That's gonna make it absolutely awful.
Yes.
Awful.
And then it will be 1800 Eve.
I
because
don't
the shows
want...
are timed around US time zone.
I don't want to think about this anymore. My brain's hurting.
I just want to ask, like, how has a modern society been able to deal with this long without going slightly insane?
I blame Ben
we
Franklin.
2 points in the
that
year.
bastard.
We haven't. We are all just slightly insane about this.
Can't we just use
my
start
God.
dates for crying out loud? That's an easy calculation. Start date 45, 62, 82.7. Like, what the fuck is that?
I'm sure we've had this conversation before, but like, in all honesty, I do not give a flying fuck what the
Eric,
time is
Yes.
when it's light outside. If it's light outside, it's the daytime. If it's dark, then it's the nighttime. Like,
I mean,
like, I don't have to care
Julian time?
whether it's. I don't care. I don't have to care whether it's like, oh yeah, no,
We
it
will-
has to be light at 8 a.m.
We will run this
Like,
show
no, I
on
don't care.
Klingon time, whether everybody else likes it or not.
I would-
Sounds good.
Come on.
I would actually
do
be
star
kind of
dates.
okay with that.
Couple of
But then
Stardate
again,
basically is Julian time. Come on.
like,
what?
Oh, there you go then.
in fairness though, I would be okay with doing that way. I'm also the kind of insane person that wants everyone in the world to just use UTC forever, permanently. So, you know,
See, I don't think that's insane. I think that's actually just
no local
sensible.
offsets. Like, if you're in the US, you wake up at like 12 UTC and you go to bed at like whatever it would be, like 0300 UTC, and you just do that. If you're in India, you're awake at fucking what 0200 UTC, and you go to bed at 1800 UTC, and you just do that. You just work to the same hours effectively as you're doing
Same
now.
hours.
You just call them something different.
This is why
it's
for
just,
3 months we banned Dirk from the show and just let him back now.
I just think this. I am 100% with you, Dirk, because I really don't care what numbers what numbers are on my clock when I wake up or when I have to wake up. Like, if I have to wake up early in the morning, like whatever time on whatever numbers correspond to early in the morning, like, I'm fine with that. That doesn't. I don't care whether it has to be 0300, 1900, or fucking 11. Like, I don't care.
But then you actually have like a consistent worldwide thing where everyone knows when you say this time, you mean this time.
Isn't it weird how the Brits agree with a system that would change absolutely nothing for them?
It won't change some, because then we won't have fucking British summertime.
British
we won't have to
Empire.
like change
But
clocks all
that's
the time.
only a good thing.
Earth time.
If we'd done it properly when we conquered half the world, we'd be doing it this way already.
No, because I think weapons grade incompetence has it right of you would lose your relative positioning time-wise.
How? Like, we change it forward and then we change it back. Like,
because everyone is used to a day
year.
flips at midnight. Not on savings time, but everywhere is just
the flip.
UTC.
I swear to God.
Like, if you're waking up at 1400 UTC, that's gonna.
But you have to do that. Like, there's a reason why there's an international dateline. Like,
you would just get used to it.
Okay,
that's what the international dateline is. Like,
New Year's Eve and New Year's Day
it's
would
not
be
through Greenwich Mean Time. I'll tell you that right now. It's not through Greenwich.
New Year's Eve and New Year's Day time would be so boring if we did not have the international dateline, so that we can watch all the shit happening in Australia and Asia all day long, and then eventually get to New York time, where everything happens. New York time. The West Coast. I mean, they just have Ryan Seacrest like half asleep at that point. When they get midnight. So fuck them.
I would like to mention,
it would probably fuck you apart though if you're traveling like halfway across the world.
Sure.
I do agree with Goonie though that, like, the imperial system of measurements sucked.
You guys talk too much.
That was clearly made by someone who was like partially or very, very close to absolute insanity.
Why do we talk too much, Arendis?
All you do is talk. Let's get some action on this goddamn show.
Like a bunch of old women in a knitting circle. Is that what you're saying?
Where are the explosions? Come on!
Hold it.
I mean,
3, 5, 4,
I did mention to
3,
Eric that, like,
2,
you know,
1, 0. 20 minutes has expired.
yay!
Oh dear lord.
By the way, Dawn is on a boat, trying to stay away from all the screaming children.
That's
Correct.
not Dawn is on the boat.
Hold it. She's on a boat full of screaming
Whoa.
children, and she says, first thing she says, "Hey Eric, this would be great place for goons."
Why did Dawn just imitate a screaming child live on air?
Children screaming. There was a old talking.
That's
This
not
is
okay.
the quality content that you get here on Push to Talk.
Only
Look,
on Push
Dirk.
to Talk.
Look, Dirk. I love children. They're amazing with little ketchup. You know,
Are they crunchy?
Yeah.
Do you deep fry?
if you prepare them properly.
Slow roasted with a nice barbecue sauce.
Dracarys!
They go great with a chilled sunset.
I mean, this is the thing with human meat. You have to, like, really soak it and cook it slow and slow to get it to the nice tenderness you want.
Well, that's because of all the
Dirk's-
crap we put in our bodies.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd just be pork.
Dirk's new name is Jeffrey. Okay, we're changing it. Fucking Jeffrey.
Oh.
I mean, wait,
Okay,
Dawn's. Wait, is Dawn in the Pacific or is she in the Gulf?
Who knows?
In the
Oh,
Pacific.
Pacific.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
She's on the
Then this is
Pacific
not a-
Princess. Julie McCoy
then-
is there. Captain Stubing. They're all there.
This is totally not the appropriate time for a conversation about buccaneers.
You mean Buccaneers?
No, I mean the original French term that comes from basically, pig hunting,
They do that a lot in Texas.
and the cannibal origins of that term being applied to pirates.
Ah, right, okay.
I have the unlimited drink package, so I've been getting.
I have the unlimited drink package. I don't give a shit what you people say. Sorry, Dawn. That was
You know,
perfect.
They're like, "Here you go, ma'am." I'm like, "Thank you." More Jeeves. I had 10 bourbon and cokes yesterday. It was great.
That's what happens when you buy the drink package.
I didn't have to buy it; it came with the cruise.
I thought
Well, no,
that
you
was
had to
the-
choose which one.
If anything, the more you drink, the less likely that you're going to be killed and eaten straight away, because you're effectively preserving yourself by pickling yourself.
That's right.
So get wasted.
Yeah,
Never not pickle yourself.
They have an adult-only pool area too, so I was up there yesterday reading my book, hanging out in the hot tub, drinking a drink. It was a good time. I met some people.
Sounds like my last week, only it wasn't in a... It sounds like, a week ago for me, only I wasn't on a ship. I was next to a lake.
Ocean, lake, tomato, potato.
Yeah, it's similar. Sure.
So anyway, Eve time, go.
What do you mean Eve time go? Aren't you the one who was at Vegas?
Eve time, go. I would just like to congratulate Ushra Khan and Minmatar Militia for taking back Amamake in 2 fucking days.
It seems like
that's a campaign that usually takes weeks.
It seems like they're gonna lose a whole solar system now.
South? Maybe a lot more than that.
Yeah, maybe.
And not just them.
We're soon gonna find out.
Now, let's keep in mind that a whole lot of how this plays out and what the effects are is really dependent on CCP's grasp of science. And so nothing will happen.
Oh dear.
And so nothing will happen.
I think.
Okay. But
real quick, hold on. My ship is doing their emergency drills, so I'm getting locked in here in a minute.
All right. Enjoy.
What a terrible fate.
So
is it somebody saying this? Don't worry, this is a drill, and then there's something saying this is not a drill.
They have fire doors everywhere that automatically close for the bridge.
We can hear the alarms now as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not loud. But
Are you sinking? Did you take a
No.
torpedo to the aft?
But yeah, they're
I
all
think that was a really personal question, Eric.
You know,
Just
I was like,
ask
I
them
meant
if
to
this
say
is a
to
bad
like the
time to
port
say, "I am the
side, but
captain
like
now."
port and
I
starboard.
know exactly.
just, like,
I know you
my head
meant it
exploded.
nautically, but damn, dude, that was.
Well, after I said
Wow.
it, did you see my face on the video? Like, oh fuck.
no action, but sadly no.
So like, again, you know, this depends entirely on CCP's grasp of math, but like, if that star goes supernova, for example, all right, that can fuck things up out to 30 light years.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be bad.
But
that's a few hundred systems.
I'm just gonna point out that you said
CCP's grasp of
30
science.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it would take for the effect to get
Dude.
out to those 30 light years?
The gamma ray burst with the first systems in less than 7 months.
Let's put it this way.
But here's the fun part, Soth. If it happens, it's going to be an isogen event, just like Caroline's star, which was immediately visible all across New Eden, which means it'll hit everywhere simultaneously right away, and it should kill the Stargates.
But what will happen to SETI Alpha 5? That's what I want to know.
All of them.
What's going to happen to SETI Alpha 5?
Whoa, that's quite the outage.
I mean, that's what happened. That's what happened to the Jove gates.
Mm-hmm. I mean, consistency. You know,
consistency.
Consistency.
So how bad this could be depends on CCP's knowledge of science and CCP being consistent. So we're fine.
Could you
imagine? Everyone's fine.
Could you imagine that all of a sudden the only way to get around is now like Titan bridges and wormholes?
Titan bridges, wormholes. Maybe they'll. Well, no. That you could put if you have shit in place. If you have shit in place, you could conceivably put down new jump gates. Yeah, new ansiblexes.
Yeah, new ones. But the old ones would be out as well, right?
Right.
Well, I mean, if the gates are out, then clearly you're not going to have you're not going to have sex status up in any way, shape, or form, right? Because that's derived through the gates.
Conceivably, yeah. I mean,
so you could have.
Who knows what would happen who knows what would happen to jammers?
Like
technically drive, yeah.
System garrisons would be the only thing that was available in the system anymore. You know, they couldn't get support from anywhere.
But it gets better. It gets better because this again, if this is the isogen event that it appears to be, all right, then this could destabilize other stellar harvesters. And despite the whole it's in the abyss now, all of the Pochven systems are still technically where they were. And they're well within 30 light years.
Oh yeah,
to say nothing of the instantly hits all over.
I remember that we actually checked for the position of those systems when someone made the claim that a Titan got into Pochven.
So like this could be a total cascade event. But again, all of that worst case shit depends on CCP actually having any clue about not just real science, but their own science and their established precedent.
Not only a clue, but also, someone to put it into the game. Because
well, I have complete faith that Delegate Zero will try to be consistent. I have very little faith that anybody else there will let him.
Yeah,
he can't do that. Coded everything himself.
No, he does the writing. He's the storyline guy.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is
he's not going to be allowed to code anything himself.
Yeah, but there's no one to do it, right? Because everyone's working on the NPE. Oh, right. What's going to happen to the NPE?
Well, they'll have to redouble their efforts again.
Oh God!
You know.
I promise you, this station will be operational.
And I gotta admit, and I've said this elsewhere. All right, if CCP wanted to just say "fuck it, we're shutting Eve down," this would be the way to do it.
Just
Like just
murder
one
it with
horribly calamitous event that basically wipes out all life in New Eden.
It really would be just like the ideal way.
Exactly. That would be the perfect way to do it.
Horrendous. Sorry,
but I can't see them doing it just as they're unleashing the new faction warfare stuff.
When did you walk out, by the way?
About 10 minutes ago, right before we got onto this, because family.
Okay, so you've missed a
Halloween
chunk.
parties. Yeah, I'm presuming we're talking about the scope video yesterday.
No, we're talking about Dawn being on lockdown because her ship is sinking.
There's also
same difference, right?
Yes.
Russian torpedo to the aft of the ship.
But yeah, we're talking about what's happening in Turner, which might quickly spread to Vard and
about 150.
Wait, I thought we were talking about what was happening in Amamaki, not.
No. That was just me giving a quick shout out to UK because they did pretty well there.
Oh, right.
Credit to Ushra Khan for that announcement this morning.
Yeah, but the whole scope video was about Turner.
Yeah.
Yes. That looks like they're setting up for the conflict for the faction warfare, right, Horrendous?
The thing with Turner?
Yeah.
That's been part of an ongoing thing. That almost certainly does. That almost certainly has been part of the let's spur people toward faction warfare.
Right.
But if that explodes in horrible fashion, that's not going to be a faction warfare issue. That's going to be look, everybody in the system is dead issue.
Yeah. But read between the lines on what they're saying in that lore article. It is the Amarians fucking with the star and Minmatarian stations there.
Yeah, because it's a Republic
gonna
system.
not go down well.
All three Amar stellar harvesters were built in systems populated by Minmatar.
Yeah,
have you
and if they blow up, that's war. I haven't actually watched
the
it.
issue there about it. The issue there about it is like
it doesn't have to blow up for it to become war, because according to the scope video, the Amarians are actually blocking the efforts of the Minmatar to get the people
evacuate.
Turner is still held by the Amar.
Yeah, and the Minmatar are trying to evacuate.
Right,
at least
there are 4 stations.
Yeah, and the stations. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's
not like it's really got a habitable planet.
What?
I mean, Turner is basically it's a unpopulated shithole. That's right, shithole systems. I said it.
I mean, they are Minmatarian.
Hey,
come at me, Ashra.
I'm wondering though, seeing the video from Turner 1, with all of that sand, how are they making all the duct tape stick? Like,
I mean, that is a good point. Like, because you know that, like, if you get duct tape full of sand, like, it ain't sticking to anything.
Yeah,
super glue.
Look,
stick it to the sand.
Here's how this works, Soph. Okay, you import some gravel and some water, and sand, gravel, and water makes concrete. And that's what you stick the duct tape.
Don't you need limestone?
Come on.
Don't you need limestone?
It depends on what kind of concrete you want. I mean, if you want modern stuff, then But if you just want a basic concrete, you can do it with sand, gravel, and water.
Okay, I want to know that. I need to fix my driveway out front, so that's what I'm doing.
that you would definitely not want this shit.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it.
I'm pretty sure we don't use limestone here for concrete.
You use plastic.
So the other thing, Horrendous, that I've seen kind of alluded to with this, and it might make sense, is the stuff currently on Hobo Leaks with the abyssal nerfs.
There's a lot of stuff going on at the minute.
There's a lot of stuff going on at the moment.
Yes. I'm just alluding to it vaguely of the stuff that's on there. We'll get into it properly in a minute. It's probably going to be that when Turner goes boom, the Empires go, yeah, shit, we ain't letting this tech in our key systems, right?
Okay, but how are they going to do shit in Pochman?
What do you mean do shit in Pochman?
what Bart Ghost is alluding to, and alluding to it is a bit of a weird way to do this. You should just come out and say it. But what he's talking about is the current planned changes, or what we think are planned changes that have been basically released to Hobo Leaks. That various tiers of abyssal filaments will no longer be able to be used in certain security status systems,
and that's why the filaments will give you a suspect in ISEC.
So
no,
example,
there's 2 levels of it, horrendous.
Tier 4 and 6 will no longer be able to be used in 1.0 and 0.9 systems.
I don't think anything can be used in 1.0 to 0.9, and then it gets more lax as you go 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 0.5. And it lets you do higher tiers as you get closer to 0.5.
So yeah,
I mean that is definitely another possible tie-in, but
it'll be a knee-jerk reaction from the empires of
everything
get this shit out of here,
they're
right?
run by CCP.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I just watched something that's just made me laugh. I had to sidetrack.
Oh, I'm sure you did. I really have.
God damn it. No, you need to pump. I do not know of anything on Herbolix that's doing that yet.
Yeah, they're not touching mining in the current in the current situation. CCP aren't fixing nullsec. Sorry, nullsec's still fucked. Apart from the hack meta, which is going to get a hell of a shakeup soon.
Yeah.
Which you might say is going to get hacked up.
But
that's going to be really interesting to watch.
Interesting, as in it's just going to swing back again. Like, why?
But what do you mean by swing back again?
Like, why are they still trying to fiddle around with hacks by changing their stats, changing their weapon systems? Why? The only reason hacks are so overpowered is because of their fucking price.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
I mean, short of making them 2 billion.
First off, balancing by price has never worked in EVE. It does not work. Just get that completely out of your head. But no, the reason hacks have been so broken has nothing to do with their price. The reason hacks have been so broken is because generally the ones that we see overly used in the meta have a combination of speed, firepower, range, and tank that doesn't have weaknesses.
And we had that before, and then we could still counter them with cheap battleships, which we don't have anymore.
You could
count them. You could counter them with cheap battleships when you could field ridiculously large fleets of battleships.
Yeah,
and multiple fleets at the same time. Look at the login numbers, Soth. You don't counter Munins with battleships that can't hit them.
The fact of the matter is that just because there was a workaround that we previously had, which was throwing cheap battleships at them, doesn't mean that the problems that they have didn't exist previously. We just had a way to beat them.
Right,
and throwing numbers and money at the problem.
And
it's
personally,
not as if they were actually balanced.
I think that if CCP wants to commit to the idea of the hack as a heavy tank, high DPS, short range ship, that's a great way to go. I think that would give them a distinct role as opposed to the battle cruiser, which occupies basically the same niche they occupy, only nobody has any reason to fly it because currently the hacks can do everything a battlecruiser can do.
Links.
Right, but the battlecruiser being a longer range option that is also more new player friendly. I think that would help to distinguish the two classes from one another. Unfortunately, CCP has made these changes that look like initially, like you look at, say, the Eagle is dropping to what, 70,000, 70 kilometer targeting range?
The Eagle's dropping to 65 kilometers base targeting.
Right.
I'm looking at the stats now. So
right, but see, that's the terribly important word there, isn't it? That's the one that
it's targeting range. Yes.
Base targeting, because that's before skills and command bursts, which is why the Eagle will still be able to target out to 120 kilometers and shoot that far.
I mean, the Cerberus is dropping from a 95 kilometer base range to 60 kilometers.
Right.
You slap a SIBO on that, and suddenly it's basically where it was again.
Yeah, and that Eagle is without any SIBO. Like that's still using a small cap injector in the mids that it can swap out for a SIBO at any time if it wants to.
Yeah, it's not as if the Eagle is particularly.
The Eagle is going. The Eagle is going nowhere.
The Cerberus has historically had cap issues, so that'll be pretty rough.
The Cerb is dead.
The Munin probably
is now the better Cerb.
Dead.
No, the Munin is now a better Cerb than the Cerb.
You think?
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
just because I quit as a director doesn't mean I left the.
Yeah.
I stopped doing fitting shit numbers, because that's what I enjoy.
Yeah, it's passion, if anything.
The Munin, the Munin is a better Cerb than the Cerb. I don't see the Munin getting used for what the Cerb does now, because neither one of them is fit for that role anymore. But the Munin will be better at it than the Cerb is.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean.
And if you really want to get a look at a disgustingly effective Munin, you go armor Munin, load it up with hams, and fit the mids with tackle.
I think what's interesting to me is
and then giggle yourself silly at those demoses that still need to track shit.
Yeah, the Deimos.
No changes at all.
The Deimos has always been. Well, I say always has in recent years been pretty fucking bad, and now it's just got worse. So they could probably have done something to the Deimos to make it a bit more appealing, but I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. The
Sacrilege lost some range, but is otherwise untouched. The Zealot actually seems to be a little bit more viable.
Zealot lost some range, but is otherwise untouched. Ishtar lost some range, otherwise untouched.
I think the Zealot gained a little bit of power grid. I think.
The Sacrilege Hobo Leaks has some numbers for some sort of change downward, but I'm not sure what they actually represent in game. The values are ship bonus AC2 goes from -4 to -5, and elite bonus heavy gunship 1 goes from 10 to 7.5. So there are some changes there for the Sacrilege other than the range change, but I don't know what they actually correspond to when it comes to the ship bonuses that exist there.
AC.
Yeah, it's the only hack that has an AC2 ship bonus change that I can see on the current Hobo Leaks changes. This is the most up to date. I'm not looking at the previous stuff that we've seen. But yeah, basically every hack gets its range slashed by like 30%.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but honestly, I think these are good changes overall. I think making these changes is a step in the right direction. I know CCP Aurora has basically been spearheading most of this.
Yep.
And I think she's kind of got it about right for the first pass.
I think she's done a fairly good job so far on it. I will say this: anybody who thinks that this is going to usher in a new era of Ishtar fleets has forgotten just how bad every FC in the game except Asher is at Ishtar fleets. So.
Yeah, drone-based kiting comps are a pain in the ass, as every attempt that Goonswarm has ever made in the AT can tell you.
Lies, Dirk. Lies.
And watching Hostiles attempt as Starfleets was always hilarious.
Yeah, they're incredibly powerful when done right, but doing them right is a pain in the fucking ass. And even in the AT, I've only managed to pull it off with a bit of luck and like the other team doing things wrong. So
you mean like half the other team going into boundary?
No, I mean them just like trying to. I mean them consistently charging us, for example, and being able to just run away.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the sort of thing that you can do, but it's difficult. Other interesting changes, though. The Slotius is getting a boost to its base speed of a pretty significant boost. Actually, it's getting like a 40% buff. That's actually no, it's more like a 30% buff, but it's going from a base speed of 180 to a base speed of 230.
Well, maybe it's time to call up Laz and tell him we're bringing back the Laz guns.
Yeah,
He'll love that.
Armageddon Navy.
That was sarcasm for anybody listening.
Seeing a lot of changes. The Armageddon Navy dropping 2 turret hardpoints, gaining 5 launcher hardpoints, adding, getting a more spacious drone bay. It's going from 200 to 275, so that's another 3 heavy drones. If that's the kind of way you want to go with the Armageddon Navy. Also seeing its low slots go from 8 to 7, its high slots go from 8 to 7, and its medium slots go from 4 to 5, with a power grid downgrade from 17.5k to 16k base. So,
yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Armageddon Navy seeing a hell of a lot of changes there. It might actually be useful now with like rapid heavy missiles or something. Of course, nobody has any opinions on that because.
Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah,
you went too far in depth and lost me.
You're looking at the increase in mid slots, and I'm just thinking, right, because you're losing power grid, so you add mid slots. Well, what doesn't really use power grid in the mid slots?
Well, the power grid change is really to do with the weapons changes.
Absolutely.
Like losing 2 turret slots is something on the order of what, like 2.5k power grid for large lasers.
Yeah.
Right.
So it makes sense.
It absolutely makes sense. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying stop and think for a moment. What uses very little power grid in the mid slots? Let's see. E-War, tackle, drone navs.
Yeah. All
Which
things
honestly
that the Navy will benefit from.
Yes. But that's a good thing.
I'm not saying
you've
it's
chucked
not.
the right tackle on there. Whilst you've got nukes in the top because they're getting bonuses on it now, right?
And obviously it's an armor ship, so
yeah,
you're not looking
you're laughing all the way to the
power
bank.
grid heavy. Right, you're not looking at the power grid heavy stuff in the mids. So yeah, give it those more mid slots, and let's see what happens.
I personally think that the Typhoon Fleet issue change is just the most amazing change ever.
What was the TFIs?
It's so it is dynamic type is being changed from none to 0. Oh yes,
that's incredibly descriptive.
Incredibly useful.
Oh my god!
I mean that is important.
Using value names
that's
that
a
make
significant.
sense.
Yeah, I mean,
does anyone know what that value is?
They're all having that change, by the way, every single
Yes.
one. But
yes, because clearly, like somebody at CCP went, guys, we're expecting an integer value here. Why are we using none?
You say they're all seeing that change.
Found it. I'm glad someone's found it and corrected it.
You say they're all seeing that change. They aren't, because the hacks don't see that change. The frigates do.
Okay.
The cruisers do.
The cruisers do.
The T2 ships don't see that change.
Some of the battleships do, yeah.
Well, that's because they may have had something in there already that wasn't none.
Potentially.
But like that might have been a 1.
I mean, could it be tied to something new that they're doing, that they're just modifying ahead of time?
It looks like it's all just the Navy issues and stuff like that, right? It's the.
Well, I'm wondering if it's tied to. I'm wondering if it's tied to the emblems or some shit.
Oh no, it's good. There's
maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, the Typhoon fleet is supposedly seeing changes. Let me just pull this up real quick. But I think the Typhoon fleet is seeing changes that basically take it to a better ship. It gets more application on. It's getting a right. Yes, here it is. It's getting a 7.5% bonus to cruise missile and torpedo explosion velocity on top of its previous bonuses, which is I don't know, nice to have in terms of the application at that level. But it's not especially great. But it is getting a bonus, so you know.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we start seeing cruise Typhoons again, but
start.
Yeah. Brisk has a question for you.
Oh dear lord. The ganking stuff.
At least it's not sugar.
The ganking stuff is I'm sorry, CCP, what the fuck are you smoking?
No, I can actually agree with this. And that feels weird. I can see the logic when combined with Abyssals getting the changes they are.
I absolutely see the logic they're applying. I think it's fucked.
I don't know.
Is that the technical term for it?
So for the benefit of anybody who is not reading the chat, can you outline what the ganking changes are, Dirk?
Right, so the ganking changes are that alpha clones in HiSec will no longer be able to move beyond green when you talk about their
safety
status. Yes, exactly. That was the word I was hunting for.
And that's only in HiSec.
It's only in HiSec, but they won't be able to do anything that requires a non-green safety status, which includes ganking.
But, you know, they won't be able to dock anyway, even if they were able to gank.
They can dock as a pod, though.
Oh, okay.
They can dock as a pod, and I believe it's going to take more tags to recover their... Oh, God, what do you call it? Like, stand-ins hit, right?
I think there's also, a thing where alpha clones will have to use more tags than omega clones to recover their standings and not be shot on sight by Concord or the local police militias. But just generally, I think it's kind of fucked. The idea that they're restricting alpha clones' playstyles in that sort of way. It's not even the gentle nudging towards less safe space that they are doing by tiering the filaments down the security statuses. It's just saying, hey, no, you can't do anything that requires a security status that is a safety status that is orange.
Lower than green. Yeah.
Like, in HiSec, I generally leave mine on red because I like ganking. I think ganking is fun. I haven't ganked in a while because ganking is basically dead with other changes that. Ganking
but Dirk
is basically dead with other changes that they made. But making a change that stopped players being able to do a thing I think
It
that's,
hasn't. That's the thing, Dirk.
It doesn't stop players from doing anything.
It's triple downing on the fact that you're never going to be able to gank, because now it's like not a case of, oh, they've changed their mind, they've turned one dial and ganking is allowed again. It's like it's permanent.
It doesn't stop players. It doesn't stop players from doing anything.
Oh,
it does.
It stops people from doing it for free.
Well, there is that. But also, I know technically this isn't ganking, but when Abyssals...
If you don't want to be an alpha clone...
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When Abyssals will now be getting suspect timers, right? That's what they're trying to point people towards is...
Yeah, you can
go
shoot
after the Abyssals
because they've got suspect timers. That's not...
Yep, and you can do that on a green flag. That's all they're doing.
Okay.
Realistically, they're not killing it. They're just shutting it down
it
somewhat in one way.
They're telling people, listen, if you want to multi-box an entire fleet of catalysts to go after miners, give us some fucking money, bitch.
Yeah. But if you just want to do solo ganking, here's a bunch of Abyssal runners that are now going to be suspect for you, right? Now you don't have to lose your ship to do it.
If you're multi-boxing Catalyst, then aren't you already
giving them money?
Like,
but yeah,
I don't know. Do VPNs exist?
Yes, but one VPN each for every account. That's like
they do exist, but CCP would like you think they don't.
Absolutely worth.
That's a lot of effort.
Of course, it's a lot of effort, and of course, it's more than it's worth. But let's keep in mind that we are not talking about rational actors here. We're talking about what the fuck CCP's doing.
Yeah, I feel like this is fighting a problem that doesn't really exist.
Oh god, that'd be new for CCP.
I know, right?
Yeah, I don't see how.
But don't get me wrong. Like, we didn't get
and even
changes in years, so I'm not going to be mad for them putting out changes.
Right, okay? And even if you take out the idea, of multi-boxing, all right, a whole corporation of people using alpha clones to gank. Same thing, same math.
I mean, I'm just here going. CCP have beaten on gankers enough. Why do we, when the vast majority of ganking no longer exists because of previous changes they made, why do they feel the need to take a baseball bat to us again? Really?
Because they're looking to get some money.
Yeah.
Dirk, that's what's going on here. They're telling you can
me
still
with a
do this.
baseball bat is not a good way to get my money.
Dirk, they're desperate to get money. Look at their fucking numbers.
Well,
I mean, there is that side of it, but also, Dirk, they have just opened up Abyssal runners to you if you want to do it as an alpha.
So there is that, yeah, but they haven't
now you can sit as an alpha and gank any fucking idiot that was stupid enough to do a tier 5 or tier 6 into higher sex status, which I can guarantee you is going to happen.
So what you're saying is
the suggestion that when we were ganking, we were actually interested in the filament runners is kind of hilarious.
The thing is, a lot of people have shifted to that over a while, and
they do. They do. But these changes to the alphas and changes to like how whether you can put your guns to red or green, if you're an alpha, like does not affect whether you can shoot abyssal runners or not. Like
no.
So really,
that's
it's kind
the
of a
other
case
half
of
of the change,
and that's the thing. Like Dirk's sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, the idea that we were interested in the abyssal runners." No, the idea isn't that you were interested in the abyssal runners. The idea is you weren't interested in the abyssal runners, and they want you interested in the abyssal runners. So they're doing something that says, "Hey, dumbass, look at the abyssal runners."
Yeah. And they've done it through two main changes that point you in that direction.
I just said dumbass. I'm going to be, like, banned again for 2 weeks. Fucking
you know what? It's all very well and good pointing me at the Abyssal Runners and saying, hey, we want you to shoot the Abyssal Runners. I don't want to shoot the Abyssal Runners. If you want my money, give me the content I want, not the content you think I want.
Well, if you give them your money, you can get the content you want.
Well,
Yes and no.
You're complaining about I can't get the content I want unless I give you money.
Horrendous. As far as I know, they haven't like gone back on the changes that they've made previously to ganking, right?
Well, that's true.
No.
And that's the
yes,
issue.
those are their own issues.
If they did, then that would be we would be having a different different conversation entirely, because then there would be those two distinct paths of if you're an alpha, go gank a bunch of
if you're an alpha,
runners.
you get to be
if
a
you're
law-abiding
an omega,
citizen.
get to go and do your regular ganking as you would normally want to do previously to when we previously changed the all the rules and all the mechanics to ganking. But they haven't kind of reneged that stuff, so it's still not really a
simple change
way of doing any of that.
One very simple change the CCP could make to the previous changes they made, which is the bumping timer. If they lengthened the bumping timer to 10 minutes, that would be enough that previous the previous group ganking, fleet ganking of multiple people who got together for that particular purpose would come back and start looking at ganking as a viable thing again. But they won't do it.
Don't you see that this might actually bite them? Because as Chris said, they're probably doing this to shut up the whiners. All the people crying about ganking, that it's too easy, that you can do it with an alpha account, etc., etc.
Oh my fucking god! Those people drive me up the fucking wall.
Yeah, but who doesn't?
But now they will have all the abyssal runners starting to whine as well, because all of a sudden, all the
they're having a target
alpha gankers are going to start going for those.
It won't matter. They can have the abyssal runners whining, but at the same time, the abyssal runners are getting a suspect flag, so CCP can just say, "You did something you knew gave you a suspect flag. Shut up."
Not just that horrendous, but if you don't want a suspect flag, you just go to 0.5.
Right.
It is still fully functional to do tier 6 in HiSec. It is just that people will not want to go to 0.5 because of Concord response times, but they'll stay in a higher sec status.
Exactly. So
which gives them
a matter of
flag.
You're doing this thing that gives you a suspect flag. You're choosing to do it. You're choosing to expose yourself to this risk.
Stop whining. Yes.
Sure.
And
you could always go to a 0.5 that's quiet somewhere.
Right, and as far as extending the bumping timer to 10 minutes goes, like I don't know.
Maybe 5, maybe 6.
Yeah, like 5 I could see. 6 is starting to get a little long, but I mean, can you imagine having to deal with that as the person being bumped? At what point do you just go, "Oh, somebody's starting to bump me in a Macarial. All right, safe log."
If that's the choice you're going to make, then that's the choice you're going to make. But
that's the choice I'm going to make every time, because it's 30 seconds plus log the fuck back in an E-warp, and I'm gone.
So
10 minutes. 10 minutes. I'm not going to sit there for 10 fucking minutes. That is not an interactive gameplay. That is not something where there is counterplay. That is just not something that you can.
Considering that there were people who used to sit there for
the fact that people were stupid does not change any of this math.
This has always been the point. Ganking is.
Hang on. So what are you telling me? Hang on.
If people want to be that stupid, they shouldn't be allowed to be that stupid.
So hang on, Horrendous. What you're telling me is there were legitimate ways of being able to prevent yourself from being bumped continuously without the changes to like bumping mechanics that basically killed off effectively killed off high-sec ganking, right? Like just log off and then log back in again, you'll be an E-warp, something of that form. Yeah. So why did they change it? Why did they even change it? Like it sounds like it's just literally a change to protect the stupid. Am I wrong there?
I would not characterize you as wrong, no. But again,
the fact that somebody is stupid should not prevent them from the consequences of their actions.
But that doesn't mean, all right, we changed this gameplay in the past because people were stupid. Doesn't mean, and now we're going to change it in a way that demands people be stupid again.
I mean, I can see it from a gameplay perspective that it doesn't have counterplay. Like that makes sense.
It doesn't have
turning
counterplay.
The game off.
It doesn't have counterplay, and it is. I mean, look, ganking itself. All right, your ship blows up. You move on and get to keep playing. Bumping just sits there and makes you go, all right. So what? I stare at the screen for like 10 minutes? I'm going to go do something else. I'm just not going to do this game anymore.
No, that is yeah. As you say, like well, as was pointed out by you, and like that makes sense from a gameplay perspective. Like if it doesn't have counterplay and the counterplay is just not to play, that's not really an option. Well, that shouldn't be an option.
It shouldn't be an option. The game should not encourage logging off as your smartest move.
However normal and typical that is for Eve.
Regardless of how typical it is for Eve, Eve should not make you feel like you're at the end point for war games. All right? If the only winning move is not to play Eve, that's not good for Eve.
That's true, yeah.
It's not been good for Eve for how many years at this point?
I don't know. Eve's been out for what, 19? I'm going to call it 19.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that people have been stupid for a lot of that. But as people have ever increasingly, year after year, more options, better options for how to spend their time, Eve's got to compete better. The fact that people were more willing to put up with stupid bullshit in the past because they didn't know better and they'd convinced themselves they didn't have any other options, that does not excuse introducing it again so that people...
Did you just go quiet? Did we lose Horrendous? Can you guys not hear me?
Yep, I can.
I don't think we can.
So, can you hear us, chat?
I couldn't hear you.
Well, you went to the AFK channel.
Yeah, you flipped into the AFK.
How did I move channels?
I think it's the auto timeout.
Yeah.
You were quiet too long.
Okay, so we had a bit of a Discord mishap there. Horrendous was making some very salient points that nobody could hear, and as such will be completely disregarded.
There you go.
Yep.
Completely and utterly disregarded.
Look, it's real simple. All right. The MMO and online game marketplace, and really the game marketplace in general, is more competitive and people have more options every year. Just because people being stupid didn't bite Eve in the ass before doesn't mean it won't now. If the only winning move is not to play, don't play Eve. That's not something you want CCP doing. That's not a good way to go.
Yeah, you don't want CCP actually actively promoting that.
That is literally the summary of the last year and a bit, in many cases.
It's a very good point, and I agree with it. Aside from the fact that, they've been ganking over their head with a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire for the last 10 years, and I'd like them to stop, please.
Okay, but here, look, let's just keep something in mind here. All right, Dirk? All right? Ready? Is it a style of gameplay that you enjoy?
It was.
Then they're not going to stop beating it over that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Somewhere along the line, CCP became the No Fun Coalition.
Yeah, that's actually a thing we should talk about as something that has been implemented this week. From Twitch chat, the DBS changes.
Yes. Let's not have negative DBS, please.
The no giving people money policy has been reversed.
You mean let's implement things like the players advocated for 2 years later changes.
Oh, something's even better than that. It's okay. We're just going to completely abandon the idea of the DBS, except we're going to do it in a way that still lets you actually get more money than you used to.
Doesn't take it out of the game.
Yeah.
I will say
we don't want to kill our own code.
We could admit it's complete. We could admit it's completely failed and remove it, or we could just say that we're tweaking it and make it worse than it was before.
Like the fact that they tweaked it to 110% as the floor is quite something.
For just a month, though, Jack. Anyway, so on this though, I'll ask Brisk because he'll probably be the one to know. Was it by any chance Aurora that led the charge on this?
Be interesting if it was.
Because I've something screams to me lately that Aurora has somehow managed to talk some sense into people.
At this point, I'm asking myself, if this is all Aurora, then are there other developers left at CCP?
Is it that CCP is actually not 100? CCP isn't actually 150 people. It's literally just 10 people with ridiculous PC setups. Very much like.
What you're saying is, it's actually just 100 alts from Aurora.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 10 people dressed up in a very, very long trench coat.
That's right, So. That's right. It's Aurora and the team on the NPE. Everybody else is working on the NPE now.
No, because Fozzie is still working on events.
That's true.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
The thing that he's been historically very good at doing.
Hey, he's enjoying himself there.
A year now.
And a good while, and then not bad.
He's been enjoying himself there, and he's been doing reasonably okay. I mean, I
guess it's different. I guess it's a different thing to what he has been, notorious about.
It's very different.
Doing.
It's very different to what he was previously doing. He moved to doing events after the EP change, which tells you something. If you care to look,
he doesn't. I completely support people. I completely support people enjoying what they do and not having to put up with extraneous bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's
absolutely.
Fair. That is fair.
Fozzie's where he wants to be, and fair play to him.
So it's an interesting chart trajectory that he's had in the CCP though, in terms of where he came in, where his his initial kind of skills and abilities were, and kind of where he went, and now where he is at the moment. It's interesting.
I mean, considering where 6-9 months ago, Horrendous, we were actually suggesting that Fozzie would be a better EP than the current person in the role. He's had an interesting trajectory for sure.
Yeah, but there was no way he was gonna get it since he was one of the dudes saying, "Jesus Christ, no NFTs ever."
Yeah, we like Fozzie for his stance on crypto bullshit.
Yep.
We also like him for Fuzzy Soft. We love it.
Sure, those are words that people don't ever say in that order.
We'd like a new self system at some point, please. Thank you, somebody. But I mean,
namely Aurora.
This does kind of lead into a rant that I've had going for years. This is a soapbox that I've had going for years. What the fuck is the EP doing? Really?
I believe the EP got shoved in a box by Aurora.
Which fucking basement office is the EP currently sat in?
Yeah,
And
Brisk, I think that's. I think you're entirely accurate on that one, Brisk, and I hope that's how we go for a new soft system.
Yes,
I think what happened. Yeah. I think what happened was Aurora basically said to the EP, like, "Let me show you what I'm working on." Then, like, walked him into a freezer,
to a broom closet, and locked the
just
door.
Like locked it. Like,
I mean,
that's that problem solved.
I'm okay with that as a functional thing. In the fact that we are actually getting changes that look and seem good again.
Yes.
But, like, we were having this question. This question has existed for 3 years now, which is long before Aurora joined the development side of CCP. Like,
what question?
We've never heard.
What question?
The EP since he took over.
What are you talking about?
What is he doing?
A point of clarification: is he saying EP or EP?
EP, executive
producer.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't heard from the executive producer, who is CCP Manbjorn officially, but nobody knows who the fuck Manbjorn is.
CCP
or where he is. Like,
or what he is.
Or why he is.
Where is he?
How he is. Like, we would ask him how he is, but, I mean...
it's like
those should be the
look,
first.
It's like the dog in the Grinch, right?
If anything, if he does interviews, those should be the first questions that he needs to ask.
You guys are all circling around the
important
question.
Hold on.
All right.
Me too. I believe Aurora has put him in a cage.
It's not who he is, or where he is, or how he is. It's if he is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty
sure
the
answer to any of these questions.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's just a Hilmar alter ego.
Schrodinger's executive producer. How fast is he going when you observe him, Horrendous?
I'd have to observe him first.
Oh god.
Like, yeah, we're stuck with either Hilmar comments sometimes, maybe. We're stuck with the creative director, which is CCP Burger. We're stuck with
the Burgermeister.
I don't remember what Burger's what Ratatouille's official job title is anymore. I know he's a director of something, but
director of product.
I think he's a director of product. Yeah.
Right, director of product. That's it.
But what that actually means is anyone's guess.
Zero. It means zero.
But
he sits behind the camera and tells the product how to do the scene.
Isn't that the same for executive producer, though, Eric?
But theoretically, right? The executive producer would be setting a direction and talking about the direction.
No. The executive producer.
The executive producer would be setting a vision. The executive producer should be setting a vision.
A vision.
But we don't know where Manbjorn is or when. Like,
he's on a vision quest, okay? He's on a vision quest.
Very funny, McLeod.
We don't know where Manbjorn is or when.
He's trying to find his vision.
We have no idea when Manbjorn is.
I mean, for all we know, one of Aurora's side projects has been developing time travel and gone back and put him in a cage back then.
We could be having a time continuum, space-time continuum thing going on.
If McLeod is accurate and he's off on a vision quest, like taking ayahuasca by the liter, he doesn't know when he is either.
No.
CCP Manbjorn has been accelerated to relativistic speeds, and we are unsure of his location in time.
No, it's even simpler. There was a good reason for the Doctor Who thing.
Dracarys. he's a crispy nugget. Dracarys.
Oh Jesus!
Like I'm telling you now, Bambiorn is the next Doctor.
Oh fucking hell!
It was an attempt to find Manbjorn in the timeline.
The Daleks got Manbjorn.
Remember that show, In Search of? There we go. In Search of Manbjorn.
Oh.
You lot are fucking insane, I've got to say.
We've spent how many years doing a talk show about EVE Online, a game that most of us love to hate. Like, what else did you expect?
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Nope.
Now that we've asked the important questions about Manbjorn.
Are there any others? Are there any
other
other
important questions about Manbjorn?
Yeah, I mean,
I think we covered them. We covered where, what, why, who.
I mean, when he does eventually turn up, I mean, when he does eventually turn up, like, you know, I think he's going to need to regale us with his adventures.
Are we still
kind of like that minstrel?
We'd love to hear from him.
So Manbjorn, like, if you're listening, would you please let us know if you're doing okay? Like, please reach out.
Blink twice if you are being held against your will.
Yeah, blink twice if the CEO's holding you against your will.
Don't blink if it's Aurora holding you against your will.
Please change a decimal value to a non-value 3 times. If you are out there.
There's so much wrong with all of them.
I will say, jumping back from the jokes a minute, like,
where are we going next?
This last week has honestly been a good week for changes, right? I think it's the first time in a while that I can sit there and say, yeah, they're not fucking shit up.
We found silver linings for sure.
And my response to you, Ghost, is wait for it.
I would agree, though. Like,
I tell you what.
As funny as waiting for the other shoe to drop is, I would agree. This has genuinely been some positive changes that are either implemented or coming down the line.
If you're gonna say this week has been like a good week for changes, and this is the sort of thing we have been looking for a long time, then I'm just going to apologize because clearly I needed to quit a long time ago.
Yes, our undisputed retirement is exactly the catalyst that was needed.
Oh, good, that guy's gone. Let's roll out the good shit.
Do you think this is enough though? Like these are just
not on its own.
Changes, right?
It's not on its own. If we were to say take this as an indicator that maybe someone's wrestled some sense into them, then we might be on the right track. I don't know if it will save them, but I would say they've got a higher chance of saving themselves now than they did 2 months ago.
This is absolutely the sort of thing that you describe as a really good first step in a long journey to rebuilding confidence within the player base. Reattracting some of those people who have left. Some of them have left forever. That's just how it is. CCP are going to have to knuckle up and figure it out.
Work around that.
No, see, I can't.
We are going to see. If they keep on this track, some people like myself, people like Sothrasil, will probably end up looking at resubscribing and doing more things again because this is the sort of thing we want to see.
I can't agree with your characteristic. You're characterizing this as a good first step. It's a good step. We'll see if it's a first step.
So okay. the road to
it could be the only one.
the road to getting more people to back onto the EVE Online train is essentially, making sure that you are doing those small steps forward, that, rather than side steps or steps backwards kind of thing, in terms of just making sure that, like, all those little things that were straws that broke the camel's back for people get, attention and get rectified. And then at some point in that process of, putting together quality of life fixes and changes, you have to eventually have a longer term vision of creating some very interesting gameplay that
for the future
allows people with a vision and with a good amount of grandeur that, like, basically catches people's attention and essentially brings them back to the game just to try this out, and then they experience and realize all of the quality of life changes that basically push them off the cliff, that have changed and have been fixed, and then they stay.
Yes,
that's how you do it.
Yeah, Mancheater in Twitch chat has it kind of right. It's a small step for EVE players, but a giant leap for CCP.
Well, okay.
Given their actions
someone
over the
is
last few
listening.
years.
Someone is clearly listening internally.
This is the problem I have with that characterization. We've been here before.
Right.
We've had this is a good first step conversations before. It seems like they're really listening now before.
Yeah.
And then nothing's happened. There's been no follow-up for years. So, let's actually see some consistent progress before we start saying, this is a good first step. No, whether or not this is a good first step will be hindsight.
In a way, though, I'd say there's more here than previous times.
Right. I wouldn't agree with that.
On the face of it, cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Like, it's historically, CCP have always done a big thing, or a wide range of things in this kind of journey. They always hit it quite hard early on because, that's what they think they need to do, and they do need to do that.
If Aurora can keep driving this, then great.
They need to have the consistency here. We saw Team Talos come out of the gate with a whole range of changes over the course of 6 months.
Talos was great.
And then it kind of just tailed off because they didn't have the follow-through that
they just vanished as a team.
No,
they didn't have the support.
Yeah, I don't think they didn't have the follow-through. I think that Talos, among other things, Talos ran headfirst into Era of Chaos.
I'm absolutely not blaming the members of Talos. I'm not saying that they wouldn't, but CCP as a whole were not conducive to that attitude that they were trying to take and trying to implement, and so they kind of just ground themselves down, basically, and we didn't see the promise that Talos had actually executed long term. So we need to if we're still positive about this in a year, then we'll be doing well.
Honestly, if we're still positive in 3 months, then we're on the right track.
If this game still exists in a year, it'll be
yeah.
That's true.
You're so negative, horrendous. I can't.
Let's see how positive we are in 2 weeks after the investor call.
Yeah, I mean, there is that.
Yeah, that'll be a thing.
And part of me thinks this might be what woke them up to it. Because they're going to have seen all of those stats compiling it before, right? I've got a feeling what we're going to see is them in dire straits.
Well, I mean, they did kind of temporarily fuck the economy up in a very new and interesting way, just to sort of like make some headway when it comes to
I wouldn't know what you mean
metrics. So
Yeah, no, I'm with Bart on that. I have no idea what you mean by temporarily there.
I genuinely don't even know what he's on about.
Temporarily, but there's definite graphs that show what looked to be sort of close to an extinction level effect.
Yeah, and yeah, Alchemist is absolutely right. Once people, it takes about a week of consistent activity for someone to establish new habits.
Yeah.
Once people establish those new habits, then you've got to actively break those habits to get them to come back. So it's not.
It's not going to be easy for them.
It's not going to be easy.
Oh, no,
like
yeah.
reversing that is not gonna happen easily, and it's not going to be as simple as, oh look, we went back to to the way it was. You can do what you used to do, but people are going to be like, no, I can just keep doing what I'm doing now because I'm having fun now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
it's
this
one of those
is
things where
the issue
people
with
who have history is possible, but it's hard because the history is so negative in some places.
This is what Mac was kind of on about a minute ago, though.
The issue is that the highest level CCP leadership, like, essentially did not care about, long-term EVE players, and they were concentrated entirely on short-term, on new players and the retention of new players, and that was it. Like, to the exclusion of everything. And it has failed.
Quite simply failed as a program, and they've lost a lot of players. They can get some of them back. I think we've all agreed that. It's going to be long, it's going to be slow, and it's going to be hard. With the right changes, they can probably get the framework to keep players when they get them back. But I think you were right in what you said, Mac, of they're still going to need something big and headlining.
Yes.
To draw them back in, to then see... they've kind of fixed all of what I hated and what they fucked up.
Yeah, that's the kind of comment, that's the sort of sentiment that you want people that are coming back to the game being drawn by something that is big and grandiose and looking really cool, is coming back to see this and to try it out and to sort of experience it, and then also kind of say, my God, they've changed all of the stuff that really sucked, that they drove me out of the game with. And they've replaced it with stuff that is actually, really, really cool, and the game feels really good now. Like, that's what a lot of games do, when it comes to trying to claw back a population, a community. Like,
yeah, but you never claw back as many people as you lost, because
no, it's always hard
because people form new habits. Like Me Too is there saying people will bring people back. No, they generally won't, because people will bring some people back, but other people will basically be like, no, I'm doing this other thing. You should try this other thing now with me,
and draw them back out. Yeah, they're going to be fighting hard to get.
It's not an easy thing to get people to change their habits once you drive them away. Once they have a negative association, it's really hard to get them to completely upend their new activities that they are enjoying to give you a chance.
I will say there is one side of what Me Too says, though, that is right, and I'm going to twist his comment. If you bring people back, more people, new people, will stick around because it's not an empty world.
Yes, that's true.
If they can start filling the world back up, retention should go.
The thing about this is a long question of, would you recommend this game?
Yeah.
The important thing is to keep on the quality of life changes, keep on the consistency, keep on bringing and making sure that your vision and the vision of the players are kind of quite close to each other. Making sure that you are making changes to the game that are overly positive, in terms of reception for the players, and just keep that consistency up and up, because as we've said, and as Arenda says, it's difficult to get people to break their newly acquired kind of habits to come back to the game, and it's very difficult to sort of have like friend groups basically tempt other friends back when they're quite content on playing the game that they've now found, right? But the issue is, if you the key is keep that consistency beyond and further than your competitors, because when your competitors falter and fail, that's when you get like players moving from those IPs to your IP. It's when you go back and you look at like how World of Warcraft failed, right? No actual IP went and created an IP that was far in excess and far better than World of Warcraft was at its peak. They just kept the consistency up, and they let World of Warcraft fail on its own.
Yeah, but to Mac's point about my point, which is kind of circular, I know. Keep in mind that Eve has for a long time banked on it is hard to get people to break their habits. That's what's kept people in. That's been retention. That's been CCP's entire model. They have actively said, once you're here for 2 or 3 months, we've got you for a while. We've got you for years at that point. They bank on the once you're situated and you have a familiar routine, you stick with that routine. And the problem is that means that the people who leave are the people who leave after they hit that long period are the people that CCP has actively done enough to break that habit, to break the conditioning. And that leaves a mark. I mean, just look at the way Goonies responding in this.
I mean, it's a once bitten, twice shy thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't recommend Eve to anyone, and I still enjoy the game. I still run an Alliance tournament team. I come on this talk show and talk about the changes that we make, but I wouldn't recommend it.
I would recommend Eve Online. I would recommend
thing.
I would recommend Eve Online as a cult to somebody who enjoys being in a cult and is currently in a cult that could potentially be much more dangerous to themselves and others, as a means of getting them to a different
there's
cult
a
that's
recommendation.
less dangerous. It could be that way.
That's really a piece of commentary in and of itself. Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I try.
I mean,
but people say that Eve is a bit of a cult, so
Max still loves the game enough to come to stupid places and go to stupid cocktail bars. So
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone doing Eve London?
Which one?
The one in November.
I'll be. There's a kind of goon meet in November in London.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
I don't know about an actual Eve London in November. Is that happening?
the proper
November 19th.
Eve London.
Right. Okay. I'm gonna go and suggest that the goon meet moves itself a week then, because we were planning on getting together the weekend before that.
Oh, so, cool. Okay, yeah. So we might just
we should probably just shunt it a week.
Now that I'm over my quick coughing fit there, I just got to say, Mac,
yes.
I've heard of damning with faint praise, but praising with loud damnation, that's a new one.
I try new directions every so often. That's a particularly sort of notable one this time. So yeah.
But yeah, I'll be I'll be in London for sure. Yeah. That's what 3 weeks away.
DC's been announced.
What's been announced?
The DC meet.
Ooh. Oh, nice. Okay.
Apparently, there's a Washington meet going on as well.
Yep, it'll be January 13th, like this year.
Okay.
For London stuff, apparently we've got a couple of bits potentially happening in November. There's the Normal Eve London on the 19th. There's also ASCII have apparently decided randomly to do an Eve meet in London. That's going to be happening next May.
That caused some funny comments on Reddit, let's just say.
I laughed at the fact that it was announced on Reddit before it was announced to Swarm people. But yeah.
And everyone on Reddit went, wait, why are we trying to create a second Eve London?
It's been...
Not knowing that individual groups have their individual meets that they're just starting to open up lately, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been pretty... I laughed a lot about the fact that it hit London before it hit our internal Goonstorm channels, but yeah, next May in London is also going to be happening. Has anybody heard, while we're talking about this, has anybody heard anything about an Amsterdam?
Nope.
Nope.
No.
Like, is Amsterdam dead at this point? I'm just not sure.
I mean, I hope not.
Because
when was the last one? Pre-COVID.
2019. Yeah, we
would
haven't
say
had
it's
one
dead.
since COVID, since like everything reopened post-COVID. I'd love if there was one being organized, but I just haven't heard anything. And I'm not stupid enough to try and organize one.
Yeah.
I just gotta say, good job sneaking that one in there before anybody suggested you should.
Like after Berlin, we kind of realized that even if you say, "Hey, let's just meet up here," no planning, people will still expect you to plan.
Shit gets like expectations very quickly, and I'm not on board with that.
Look, if you have an idea, that idea becomes your responsibility. And if you just admit to, repeating somebody else's idea, people heard it from you, so that idea is your responsibility.
This is why I passed off Berlin planning to some other wonderful people. And they did a pretty good job, to be fair. Berlin went fairly smoothly, all things considered, but it was a lot more planning than I had ever expected.
And it was also a lot less people than were supposed to be there.
Also, Berlin was supposed to be somewhere on the order of like 90 to 100 people, and I think we got like 55. Mito...
I think that's always the case.
Shut the fuck up.
Wow. Dirk getting hostile.
Oof. Ooh.
Hey, well, Mito and Twitch chat can shut the fuck up.
Come on.
Dirk's getting uncharacteristically hostile.
No one's gonna believe Mito until he learns how to spell organize. Okay?
Wow. That's also hostile.
Uncharacteristically.
Uncharacteristically.
I know. Dirk is. How many years have you known me?
Dirk is such a nice guy.
Come on. I know for a fact Mito misspells half of the words he does just to irk me. Okay.
I mean, it's not like we don't all do things just to irk you.
It's one of those things where if we get on despite the fact of my particular attitudes, then that's fine. But whatever.
I mean,
I'm not gonna limit myself for you, Orendis.
Soth, have you not heard that story?
That story.
Yeah, about pissing off Soth. Have you?
An open secret, really.
I mean, I figured you knew all about it. I mean, the phrase "just watch how Soth freaks out over this" is basically, the open secret of what was the real cause of scarcity.
Wasn't that watch how Dawn freaks over this?
So basically, it was just a stupid bet at CCP. I see.
I mean, it worked. I don't know how stupid it was. It definitely got a reaction out of you.
Now I want to know who won, though.
I mean, it got a reaction out of the whole fucking player
it was
base.
probably the
Horrendous.
instigator, so it was probably, you know, there was probably specifically two people who were shorting on that.
Right, I'm just going to say, McLeod, we should absolutely do this.
Yes. I've been there. It's fantastic.
What? Organize
It's a fantastic pub.
No.
Yes, organising Amsterdam.
Drag some goons along to a very specific bar.
I did read it, Dirk. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You don't have to tell everyone.
Dragging goons across to this bar is a good idea.
Yes.
Unless you have an issue with said community. and you'll just get stabbed.
Honestly, no, you won't. You'll be fine.
I'm taking the piss. It's fine, Mac.
Right. And Bud, I assume since you were asking if people were going to be there, you're going to be there.
I am considering it. I didn't realise it was just 3 weeks away, mind you.
I mean,
I swear to God, if you don't turn up, I'm going to beat you.
We're going to strikes that day.
See,
Dirk
is usually so nice.
We're going to export what is culturally very significant in London to where you are.
What is very important?
That definitely wasn't a veiled threat in any way, shape, or form. By the way, I'm being very cryptic today.
No planned strikes that day.
Thank God for that.
Then I will probably be there. I might just need to book tickets now then.
Probably.
Yeah,
that sounds like you won't be there.
I would plan. I would buy the tickets and just fucking do it. Don't be a bitch.
It's more just making sure I've got times right and shit.
I mean, as far as I know, you know, me, like myself and Dirk aren't going to be saying that like overnight sort of thing. So, you know,
probably not.
You're not going to be the only one going like, oh, I'm going to have to break this early and catch trains and stuff like. So don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Just remember one.
I'm just looking at what my tickets will cost. Cheetah, if it's open after 9, I'm missing my train back.
I mean, it probably will be.
I mean, you could go all night and take the train back in the morning.
That's questionable in London nowadays, unfortunately.
Oh, there's another bar as well that would be good to sort of check out.
Jesus.
Sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking out loud. Sorry about that. It's called the. Oh, Jesus Christ! I'm trying to find it now.
It's called the Jesus Christ. That's a hell of a
It's called
bar.
the Jesus Christ. It's
the sort of place that just goes, yes, we appreciate that the only way you find God is through alcohol.
Burn it down. We'll be back in 3 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I want to get up and get on a train,
it's called
at
the
7 a.m.
It's right up your street, by the way. But like I mean, not literally, but like figuratively, it's right up your street, Dirk, because it's called like the Montague Pike.
Oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, let's give it a shot.
I can find that as well. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm in the middle of like randomly planning random shit in the middle of a show.
You're fine.
Sorry about this.
You're fine.
Couldn't tell.
Do I grab the 7 o'clock train or the 8 o'clock train?
What do you mean?
Yes.
In the morning.
Oh God. How long is it going to take you to get to London?
An hour and a half.
Then grab a train at like 10 or 11 o'clock, because I won't be in London until like 2 p.m.
Okay.
There is an issue with the Montague Pike. It is a Wetherspoons, so.
Oh, well, okay. fuck that idea then.
Fuck that idea.
But yeah, Bod, like, plan to get to London for like early afternoon. Don't.
Yeah.
If you're gonna come through for a meet, don't expect anybody to be around before like 1:30, 2 p.m.
That's fair.
Because if we start too early, then we'll be fucked by like 6 p.m. and that's not a good idea for anybody.
Not the best
No
of
comment.
ideas.
I will personally be looking to get in for 1:30, 2 p.m. So yeah.
You know, it gets worse, Dirk. The later I leave it to get on a train, the longer the train takes.
That sounds about right for.
They're about
rapid
2.5
trains in the
hours
southeast.
by mid-morning.
Also, the fact that McLeod has just found a bar called the Egg Slut.
Yeah, it's not a bar. It's like
it's a breakfast place.
It's a breakfast place.
Oh right, okay.
Egg Slut's amazing.
McLeod has found a restaurant called Egg Slut.
Well,
I remember.
We've known about it for years.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember you two talking about it. One in Vegas, and I was like, "Oh, right." It's, you know, they have one in London apparently.
I believe Falcon Misty's still around. His wife still remembers the Egg Slut venture with the morgue. So yeah,
they have fucking burgers
amazing
with eggs.
You can put eggs on everything.
They everything basically.
They do look amazing, I gotta say.
It's good.
What's their menu like? How do I find their menu?
Are we gonna do final thoughts?
We're close
to final thoughts.
Okay.
It is. We have 8 minutes. So
it's
yeah.
and by the way, Egg Slut's in the Cosmo, which is one of the best hotels I think on the Strip.
The fact that they have burgers is interesting.
Go to permanis.com. You can put eggs on all the permani sandwiches too.
They're actually like an egg sandwich place. Okay.
Yeah. That's their shtick.
Eggslut.com, baby. Bacon, egg, and cheese. Sausage, egg, and cheese. Very standard stuff, right? The Fairfax. Scrambled eggs, chives, cheddar cheese, caramelized onions, sriracha mayo in a warm.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing.
Fairfax
we
didn't have has caught my eye here, really.
It's caught his eye.
This is the thing. We didn't have this like last week, but like we didn't have like really have a like a food section last week, so we're kind of having a food section this week.
Egg salad.
Also,
suddenly, impromptu.
If you don't want bread, they can do you a salad with this instead of a.
Egg salad is a sandwich.
Like
a sandwich without borders or restrictions.
No, egg salad sandwich is a little.
No, because a sandwich requires bread.
Egg salad sandwich.
Yeah,
it's a big.
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. Without restriction.
Grew up on that shit, man.
Yeah, no, Eric. What I'm saying is that they have a no bread option, which is that you can have what you would get in the sandwich, but without a bun.
Out, like
you get salad instead.
Hey, we know we have pizza places that says, "Hey, we'll make you
or something like I don't.
We'll make you a pizza without any pizza dough." By the way, Dave, when I freaked out like this earlier, that'll be my final thought. I'll tell you what that meant. But yeah, so 6 minutes left. Should we do final thoughts?
We could do final thoughts.
Let's let Dawn go first.
Yes.
Yeah, screw you guys. So loud all day. My final thought is I hope everyone has a great week. I'm glad you guys could join me on another vacation. I would like to let our audience know they have been to Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, Las Vegas, Florida. I think I did stuff in Maine. So you guys have been all over the world with me.
That's a fast ship.
The
for doing that in
Americas
2
is
hours.
not the world.
That's a fast ship for doing that in 2 hours, I have to say.
It is.
Hell yeah.
I'm still here going, the Americas is not the world,
Dirk,
no matter how much you Americas try.
Dirk, I'm coming over to your side here in 6 months. So in June, I will be in Europe, going to Iceland actually, and they already said they'll do a tour of the offices for me if they're still there. And
if they're still there,
did they actually say if they're still there?
Yeah,
I'm not coming to Iceland just to meet you, but you should let us know when you're coming across, and like if you're in anyone's vicinity, we should go for a bit.
Yeah, you should go get some bangers and mash.
It starts in Amsterdam, and it goes to Iceland, Ireland, Liverpool, I think, and then maybe Southampton. I'm not sure, and then back to Amsterdam.
I probably wouldn't get out at Liverpool though, because there's they have a gun problem right now.
I'm told it's a wonderful place to drink as long as the Norwegian Navy is in town.
Yes.
Liverpool's not a bad place to be fair. But
unless you're allergic to stabbing.
No, it's not stabbing in Liverpool. It's just basically getting shot.
Who the fuck is allergic to stabbing?
I mean, a lot of people.
I mean, it's kind of like kicking you while you're down, really. There, right? Like not only have you been stabbed, but now you're also in anaphylactic shock as well.
It's an experience, but if you're gonna be in Amsterdam or whatever, we should
stabbing. It's an experience. Okay, thanks, Dirk.
Everyone should experience it once in their life.
I seem to have missed those on those weekend experience things that you can purchase.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'll be in Amsterdam for 3 days, I think. So.
Yeah, I mean,
plenty of time.
If you only have
totally
12 hours if you only have 12 hours in Liverpool or whatever, then that's not great. But Amsterdam's a generally pretty central point for most of us in Europe.
And if you only have 12 hours in Liverpool, Amsterdam is a great place to spend it.
Just for the people thinking about going to Amsterdam, don't take your car. Parking in Amsterdam is
She's taking a boat.
Do not do that. Driving in Amsterdam, not advised.
Yes, I'll be on.
They have park and ride, or do they have park and cycle?
Going on a bike through Amsterdam, though, amazing.
And they've got some pretty solid public transport. You just don't want to drive your own vehicle anywhere in Amsterdam because the streets are tiny.
Yeah. Everything is built for bikes.
I'm gonna take a couple Amazon vans over there.
You can also actually you could do a small boat in Amsterdam.
Small boat
without too many.
She's taking a big boat. Big boat. Tall.
Well, she's gonna have to deal with public transport then.
Yeah.
Uber.
I have a Dutch friend. He's gonna be coming in and taking us around. So.
But yeah, we're gonna actually have to get some dates from you and figure out something.
First 2 weeks of June. Fly it in the 31st. There you go.
There you go.
Well, now she said it on air. Jesus, that was
awesome. All right, that's done. Argos, you're next.
Sorry, I am just looking at train tickets, and holy fuck, they are expensive now.
It's just trains in the UK nowadays.
£43 each way.
Do we need to come over again and fix your train system?
Yeah, please.
So if the last time you guys tried to go over there and fix the train system, you didn't make it past the channel. Shut up.
Whoa.
Bit harsh, but
Harsh.
That wasn't the last time we tried to fix that train system. Come on.
But yeah, Barghost.
Amongst other things.
What have you got other than trains are shit?
Trains, planes, and automobiles?
Honestly, if I'm going to make it something game-centric, this week seems to be good. Aurora, if you hear this and it's you doing it, thank you. Keep up the fucking good work.
Yeah, that's too fucking...
Or whoever else it is that's doing it.
It's too positive for this show. I don't know.
Look, I've got to be positive.
He tempered that with trains really suck in terms of prices, so
Yeah.
It was also conditional.
I've got to bitch about something, right?
2 week ban.
Wait,
So-
what?
How dare you be
What's a
positive on this-
2-week ban?
How dare you be positive on this show?
Too positive.
Damn it. Damn.
How it goes, man. How it goes.
Dirk, how goes the monocle, my brother?
I don't wear monocles because
Your
I'm
cat
not.
does.
I'm not Jacob. My cat does, but I'm not Jacob Rees-Mogg, and I'm not from the 1800s. But I mean, yeah, shit's good. In terms of my one last thing, I'm not really sure. I think Bard had it pretty on point. I'm tentatively positive about the changes that are currently being implemented, but we'll see if CCP can keep it up. Other than that, yeah, London meet on November 19th. We'll be looking at probably more meets next year as well. And those are really the kind of thing that keeps me around in the community nowadays, is just like meeting people that I know and like and get on with. So yeah, if you're around and available, definitely go to your local meets, because generally the people are pretty cool.
Excellent. Alrighty, let's take a look here. Horrendous, we missed you. You're at the top of the alphabet. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Oh, you want me to actually talk now? All right, my final thought. I think that we're going to circle back around to the initial final thoughts, and everybody should just be very grateful that Dawn took us on vacation to Alaska while Alaska still had crabs.
That's right. Its season's been canceled, right?
Yep.
For those who
Crab
don't
populations have collapsed mysteriously. No one understands what's going on, but suddenly the Alaskan king crab is nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
I mean, we rip up the ocean floor with drag nets, but nobody knows what happened.
Weird, isn't it?
But that's a well watched, right?
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a population that like people actually keep alert about, and if it crashed, so let's just have that. This is the offset for all of Bard's optimism. We're fucked.
I think there was some nuclear testing, and they all get nuked. Soth.
Yeah, sorry, Soth. Yes.
Let me pull this back to Eve. I know you don't want to, but yeah, be happy
Talking
I'm
of
dragging
crabs,
back to Eve, not keeping it
to-
at we're all doomed. If CCP really wants to, get players back into the game,
Did you do something about the doomed crabs? I mean, yeah, that sounds like Eve.
Well, that's also Eve, yeah. I think these changes are nice, and I'm not going to complain if they keep going in this direction. But if they want to get players back into the game, they need big features, and they don't just need to do big features. They also need to announce features, right? And they need to get people excited again.
Yeah.
Okay. McLeod.
Well, two things really, I guess. Like if you are flush with cash and have actually purchased one of those really, really super expensive, all singing, all dancing, 40 series, NVIDIA cards, I would recommend that hopefully you've purchased one of the
insurance packages.
Insurance, either if you've updated your
homeowner's insurance,
house insurance, and contents insurance, or you purchase an aftermarket, or you purchase a non-NVIDIA specific power like 12-pin power cord for it, because I believe it's the specific NVIDIA ones that
not quite
really fucked.
The new
third-party ones that are like it as well.
Chief,
okay.
The new NVIDIA graphics card with built-in fire suppressant.
Halon. It just sprays Halon everywhere because that's safe.
Buy a fire extinguisher to put next to your computer. You know, that would probably be the other one. Like,
coming after.
Other than that, like, other than that, I would say I would hope everybody watching would wish Reva a very happy birthday weekend this weekend.
Happy birthday, Reva!
Yes, absolutely.
Indeed.
Shout out to a very good friend, Reva.
We love her. She's amazing.
So yeah, happy
Actually,
birthday!
Meta show.
Party with her now,
I'm sure there's a meta show today.
Yeah, there is a meta show as well today.
Yeah, meta show in an hour.
55 minutes because we're 5 minutes over.
And it's going to be a Halloween special as well.
So
spooky
Halloween special meta show.
Yeah, the spooky thing is that positive things happened in EVE Online.
Also, I'm just gonna say real quick, Skeeter. Generally, people don't bot in blops. Null blops don't do the botting.
Blocks.
That's so crazy.
But yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Yeah, botting a widow would be an interesting thing.
So my one last thing is my wife and I this morning somehow found ourselves south of the city, which is a place we go. And we were over there and we're saying, hey, we should get some pizza that we can only get in the south of the city. And we drove home and didn't buy any. It's very sad.
Good job.
Very sad.
And no, Skeeter, in blops, Black Ops battleships, you wanted the word blocks with a C.
And if you're talking about the organizational kind of grouping blocks, does it not have a K?
Does not have a K.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
because once again, it's French.
That said,
I didn't realize that, but there.
Because today's stream...
Don't ask stuff about prizes.
No, Skeeter, I'm mad that you're using the wrong word. Because I'm a pedantic shit.
Find your fucking humor. And it's a German telling you this.
I love it. I'm a pedantic shit. I mean, horrendous. That's just amazing. That's amazing.
Okay.
I want to say, since today's show and all the packets were routed through New York, thank you from New York. It is the Push Doc Show, and we will see you at the same time, in the same time zone, in the same, I don't know, time what, Horrendous? Because you're my expert here.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
All right. We'll see you next Saturday. Later, folks.
There you go, Eric.